There you go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young on this cloudy May 19th. I have an awesome guest tonight. It's another Zoom interview. Very unusual. It's actually the fiance of one of my great tech man, Joe Borman, named Shanteria. Is that it?
Shanteria, like cafeteria. Shanteria.
Yeah, Shanteria. Got it. Okay, it's a sweet name. She does a lot of stuff for fundraising, and we'll talk about that. But before we do that, I got to read these underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, I want to thank Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington, #1 in the dealer ratings for 2021. Been with me since the beginning. Best in customer service. And we got that. And we got Caribbean Breeze Tanning Salon in Norton. We got A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton. I was looking for new people in tech and service. We have Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We have the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We got Pacini's Pizza in Middleborough. They deliver. We got Hairway to Heaven in Norwell. We got a new one, DY Solar Company in Pembroke. We got Tom Auto in Middleborough. We got White Mountain Crystals in Plainville. We got Pembroke Radiator in Pembroke. We got New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We got HD Barbershop in Carver. We got Dave's Automotive, good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We got Countertops Express in North Attleboro. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Ocean Street Auto Repair and Service in Marshfield. We got Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. We got Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We got Shaggy Chic Dog Grooming Salon in Attleboro. We got the Main Ingredient Just Good Food in Middleborough. We got Pembroke Computer in Pembroke. We got Maggie's Cuts in Kingston. We got Crazy Axes Rec Center in Hanover. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Stell in Brockton. We got Auto Town Auto Glass installed in Abington. We got Eastern Fitness right in the village shops in Northeastern. We got the Gun Runner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights with customers and friends. We got Joe's Diner in Taunton. We got Chapin Chudge and Whitman. We got RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We got DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington. I want to thank you guys very much. And now on that note,
Shanteria, like
cafeteria. Got it. Okay. And that's your name. That's sweet. So how you doing, Shanteria? Thanks for coming in as a last minute fill and looking like you're enjoying that Zoom behind you. I almost wish we were swapping, but I'm okay. I like this mansion look behind me. So
right.
Okay. All right. Now you do a lot of fundraising, but what I do with every guest, I try to profile them and find out what they were like as kids and how they got to be where they're at. So tell me about what life was like for you as a kid. Now, eventually we're going to lead into what you're doing now, but that's what I do with everybody. So, I mean, you were a last minute fill-in and that's fine, but this is testing my skills of good profiling. So tell me about your childhood. Where'd you grow up and what was it like? What did you do? What did you aspire to? What were your goals and dreams?
So I actually grew up partially in Florida.
Okay, looks like you're still there. Okay, I got it.
Yes, I grew up in Florida and I came out to Massachusetts about 16 to come with my siblings. When I was younger, I really wanted to be a teacher. But when I got to my teen years, I had an interest in psychology or mental health. In my first semester of college, I switched to social work. Okay,
where did you go to college?
Bridgewater State.
A great college. I had a book published there. Sweet. Okay, and what was the purpose for coming up to Mass? Just did you have people up here that you know? Did you have
Yeah, my siblings were up here. And it was just a great fit for education for me.
Okay.
And I got to live with my American side of the family, and I got to live with my Jamaican siblings up here.
Okay, you say your American side of the family?
Yeah, my mother is American and my father is Jamaican.
Jamaican?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay. So have you been to Jamaica too?
I've gone to Jamaica one time. Yes.
Okay. I'd love to visit Jamaica, and not for the weed anymore. I swore that off 43 years ago. All right, that's great. Okay, because usually people move from the colder climates to the warmer climates. You do just the opposite.
Yeah, I like the social climate of Massachusetts better than Florida, but I also hate the heat and the cold, so I don't win.
Okay, thanks for telling me. That's one state I have not visited, and maybe before I do, I'll have to keep in mind that the social climate is better here. but we'll see. But that doesn't mean I'm not open-minded to visiting it. All right. So you were 16 when you moved up to Massachusetts. Okay. And you've been here ever since. All right. Well, what do you do now, basically? Do you fundraise for a lot of causes? And let's talk about what some of those.
I have done some small fundraising for one organization, Raising Multicultural Kids.
Okay.
But I actually work more with people.
Okay.
I am a site coordinator for School on Wheels of Massachusetts. And
Hold on. You're for psycho coordinator for which school?
School on Wheels of Massachusetts, it's a nonprofit.
Okay. And what exactly does that entail?
So School on Wheels of Massachusetts started, I think about 20 years ago. And the whole goal is to help students who are experiencing homelessness. So that is as young as like kindergarten all the way through college. And they do that through mentorship, some financial support, and especially the backpack program.
Okay.
And so that is really great for those ones. And what I do as a site coordinator is I go in and tutor kids who are currently living at a shelter.
Wow. Okay.
And I do that a couple times a week. And I also work with Raising Multicultural Kids, another nonprofit that is kind of Easton founded and based, and they work at trying to increase racial and cultural competency in southeastern Massachusetts.
Okay.
And they do that through programs through the school, getting multicultural leaders in K through 5, supporting the community, having workshops, so various things that both of these organizations do to kind of bridge the gap that that's there when there's a lack of services and support.
Okay.
And I love working for both of them.
Wow. Okay. So do you visit a bunch of different schools, or do you just go to one? How many do you visit?
So for me, I just do one site.
Okay.
Yes, I do one site in Brockton. I go to the library.
Okay. Main branch on Main Street?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I know that well. I've been there many times. Brockton is a great library.
Yeah, it's a great library.
I've lived in the city my whole life, so I know it well. Okay, so you teach the kids at the library.
Mhm.
Okay, what do you teach them? Many multiple subjects or?
Multiple subjects. It really depends. What I have to do is determine how each student is doing.
Okay.
Often because of the stress of experiencing homelessness, they can be behind in school. Sometimes, they don't even know where to advocate for themselves. So kind of assessing, are they at, the appropriate reading level, and are their math skills appropriate? Are they able to comprehend? Are they really advanced and not being challenged in school? Are they completing their homework? Are they not able to complete their homework? I believe Brockton has reduced the amount of homework students have. So I work with Chris McGallis within SOMA to design like lesson plans.
Okay.
And the whole goal is to get a good punch of education.
Yep.
Punch is not a good word. We're talking about kids, but like a good bit of education, and then like some social emotional like games and just talking to kind of check in with the students each week.
Okay. Now, here's the thing with homeless people. There's, it's great to educate the kids, but they have other issues too. How do you deal with those? there must be a real sensitive line there between educating them and seeing that they get fed or have clothed and everything, because you're part of that as well, right?
Yeah, so SOMA works with them, and it's important to recognize that first, everyone is a person, and they're experiencing homelessness are not just a homeless person.
Right.
So we make sure we provide like snacks and things like that. If anyone needs school supplies, we would let the organization know if there are any emotional things going on. There are so many different things that they're experiencing. So I've gotten considered a mentor, which is the person that comes and checks in with them once or twice a week, and just is a positive adult for them to talk with about what they're experiencing. Often these adults, have experienced similar issues and have faced similar things, so they're able to have that sense of empathy. And that empathy, I think, is very important so they
Right.
don't feel alone and are able to continue to be successful, and their education isn't, halted or harmed while they're experiencing this.
Right. Okay. So you do this twice a week, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so what do you do during the rest of the week for these, these charities that you're helping?
So it's between the two that I work with. Raising Multicultural Kids, I am I believe my title is the president of
Okay.
the youth forum. And
Okay.
the forum was created to kind of get young people into activism
Okay.
in their communities. One of the things Youth Forum does is DJ Henry Day at
Okay. I know about the, yes, DJ Henry, right, yes. New York State, I know all about that. Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think last year or the previous year when we did it, he wasn't formally like spoken about in the
Okay.
schools at that point.
Yep.
And with the height of the neo-civil rights movement,
Right.
and really a reckoning of it, we wanted to honor him and his
Yep.
legacy of kindness, of he was really, really into sports, and kind of addressing students' feelings around, the closeness of how much it hit home to
Right.
have someone be lost that way.
Right.
And this year we will be honoring him by planting a tree and getting a plaque,
Okay.
I believe in June, and also continuing with the day celebrating him and his legacy near his birthday in October.
Okay. Well, DJ Henry's birthday's in October?
His birthday is in October. Forgive me, I can't remember the exact day. I know it's, I think, the October 29th.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay. So I know that over the years it's been quite a tough ride for the family and the friends of his. But what exactly do you mean by activism, though? How would you define that? You said
Activism, well, being a change maker, making
Okay.
change in the community, standing up when you see injustice.
Yep.
There's many different ways to be an activist. For me, I would consider myself a bit of an activist simply because I was involved in a lot of different things in school. I was a racial, I had a fellowship with
Okay.
the Richard Social Justice, I'm sorry, it's so many acronyms. I
Right.
just have to remember them. At Bridgewater State, I was forgive me,
It's okay.
Justice Fellow at the Social Justice Institute
Okay.
there. And I really made sure to learn and about, how I was feeling about situations, hold programs at the school, teach about different topics, and hold space for people to be able to talk about how things are impacting them and direct them to services where necessary.
Okay. Now, have you ever I know this is sort of an off-the-cuff question, but when you educate kids, have you ever come across somebody that had some special talents that that were worth pointing out to people that might be able to help point them in a direction which could help them benefit from them, like musical or acting, something that that they might use to break out of the cycle that they're in, and really advance to something and become a success in a field that and be able to look back and say, oh, she helped me get to this point. I'm just wondering, have you ever encountered any of that? Because I've heard of a lot of cases where kids that are underprivileged some of them end up doing something really great in later life. And I'm just wondering if you've ever encountered anything like that. And if not, that's fine, but I have heard of that.
I think each student that I've encountered is special and
Of course.
their own way.
I mean, even like maybe in the medical profession, somebody like, somebody might become a surgeon who discovers cures for horrible diseases because, and they started out being underprivileged, and then they put their 2 cents together and they ended up becoming, very well, renowned and as a physicist or a doctor, an MD or something like that. I don't just mean entertainment. I know I'm so used to interviewing people in entertainment that my head is kind of like concentrated in those lines, but I know there's way more important things than that in the world. And that's what I'm getting at. If the kids have ever, really achieved something really big and helpful for the rest of the world that they can be proud of.
I'm very proud of the students that have graduated, that
Okay, that's plenty, great, okay. Yep,
um, students that are moving on to grad school,
yep,
students that are doing amazing things. It's really difficult to get
yeah,
into
I know.
school and get scholarships and things like that. I know a few students have gotten into like Harvard and like the prestigious schools when I did my
Absolutely.
internship with Soma. So
Yep.
that was a big sense of pride for me that I was, anywhere near the process of
Okay,
helping.
you're helping them to get a great secondary education after you've worked with them. That's awesome. Because they can certainly accomplish a lot from that. So do you keep in touch with the students after they've moved on? Do you talk to any of them? Do they come back to you and say, thank you for helping me get to where I'm at? I figured to do what you do, you'd probably develop like a lifelong friendship with some of them, just based on, I know it's not easy because there's so many of them. And I would think that must be, it must be overwhelming too. I couldn't do it. I mean, I have to admit, I love hearing what you do. I couldn't handle it. I wish, it's not my thing, but I appreciate anybody that can do something like that and take it on with so many people as you do. So do you keep in touch with any of them? The people you've seen, you've been doing this for a while. So, in adult life for these students, do you keep in touch with any of them that you had, when you taught it when they were younger, is what I'm getting at.
So I just graduated last year.
You
So
did?
I just
Okay,
graduated.
you're fresh out of BSU, right?
Yes, so
Okay, so you just
I've
started
worked
out.
in domestic violence shelters.
Right.
When I was at Massasoit, I've worked with several nonprofits.
Yep.
One of the best things is termination when you
Yeah.
do services. So
Okay.
people can go and flourish, and you kind of don't like hold them back. But I am able to keep in contact with a few people who are still trudging along and doing well. I know someone does woodworking, and
Okay.
I think I may be getting something
Okay.
from my upcoming nuptials. I'm gonna order something, so I'm excited to see that. Like those things.
Great.
I know it's not like this big, amazing, great thing, but to me, someone being able to be successful in their own way and be able to receive mental health support and education support, that's a home run in this world right now.
Absolutely right. Okay, now when you were a student at BSU, did this begin as like an internship, or did you do it on your own after you left?
So I got an internship.
You did? Okay.
Through the school. I actually advocated to get my internship.
Okay.
I worked with the organization before, and I
Yep.
really wanted to do it again, but more in a social work concentrated way. And with RMK, I actually joined a book club.
Cool.
And, it was White Fragility, and it was required reading for school, and I was dreading it, and I really wanted to be with a community and learn about it. And I met the person who was in charge of the youth programming at RMK, and she said, "Why don't you come along and let's create this program together?" And that's where Youth Forum was born.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so tell me about the book club. You got you get all kinds of good literature in there. I love to read, so I can appreciate a good book club. But I've never been a member of a book club. So how does the book club work exactly?
Well, the book club, it was through Raising Multicultural Kids in the Easton Public Library. And it was just to help the community come together and learn about how the world is essential. Well, the book in particular, written by Robin DiAngelo, talks about how white supremacy is prevalent in society, and how people participated willingly, unwillingly, or not knowingly, and how it can impact Black and brown people, Asian people, people of color, and how to see through some of that. And I hadn't, I wanted to have an understanding before I had to go into my last year's school, and I wanted to know how a community responded to it. So I was in a group with people of different ages, races, cultures, and we just had I believe it was like weekly or bi-weekly discussions about it and reading it, and it was honestly, it was beautiful and eye-opening, because people began to admit like, oh, I see this, or I never noticed that. And I think Joe, he was always working but participating. He mentioned kind of like, I forget the analogy of Hydra. You think of Marvel,
Yeah.
Marvel stuff and how Hydra came back. So World War II, Hydra is like a like Nazi group.
Okay, wow.
Yes, and this is comics. It's in the comics.
Right.
And eventually they come out of the shadows. From the 1940s, this group forms in 2000s, and the whole organization of SHIELD kind of crumbles. And watching people kind of realize like, wow, this has been present my entire life. And I never knew, and this is why some of the pain that is present here is so, it feels so new to me, but really it's been around me my whole life. And how do I be better? And watching people say, I want to do better and I want to learn was really great for me as a student, and it was great for me as a social worker, and or as a future social worker. And I really began to pivot my my education towards racial justice and supporting around that.
Okay, so you also a social worker as well as a teacher? Or you're going to be? Is that what you're eventually going to do?
Well, I'm taking my social work license and test in August. Wish me luck.
I think you'll do fine, but wish you luck anyway. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
I wouldn't call myself a teacher, more like a tutor, and
Okay.
And a therapeutic support is that kind of site coordinator is like a tutor plus therapeutic support and community resource manager all in one.
Okay, I understand. So you basically this is something that was part of the program at BSU. Was you got psychology and you got teaching degrees, right? Is that it?
I have a social work degree, a bachelor's in social work.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. So that's basically what you're going to do. I just saw something on the screen. Okay, all right. So all right, what's going to happen when you? So this is going to be you are eventually going to move on to something else. You're going to move. You're going to okay.
I'm going to work towards getting my master's in social work, and I have a lot of goals of working with as many communities as I can.
Okay.
I really want to work with convicts for the next 3 to 5 years. And I still want to work with communities like Brockton and communities like Easton.
Yep.
Because they both have their unique challenges.
Right.
And hopefully one day I will open my own practice.
Yep. That would be great. I expect you will. If you seem to want you're so determined, and I don't see anything stopping you. So basically, you're still enrolled at BSU now, then, right?
No, I am not.
Where are you going to get your master's? Which school is that going to be?
It will probably be Bridgewater State again.
So okay, so technically you're still there because you haven't gotten your master's yet. Once you've gotten your master's, then you'll have officially graduated. It's lock, stock, and barrel, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Okay. So tell me something. How did you and Joe meet? I mean, I have to ask. He's a great guy. I love working with him. He's been so helpful to me for my show. So I don't want to get too personal, but just curious, how did you meet him? And then
we met online on an app called OkCupid.
Okay, that's sweet. I wish it was that easy for all of us to do that, to find the love of our life online. That shows that even against all odds, you can do great things in love and in helping people. So it sounds like you got it all in the palm of your hand, as it were. All right. Now you seem like an intelligent person. You ever plan on trying to write a book yourself? I know you like to read. You like to write as well.
I write poetry.
Cool.
I typically write to just deal with whatever's going on in my life. It's not always fluffy and nice. It often can be a bit of a painful.
I know it.
And I kind of miss doing it. I did it as a teen and I stopped, but since the pandemic, I really got back into it.
Great.
And I would love to write a book, but I'm not sure of my patience for a project.
Well, you have a lot of time left. What I was thinking is that you might, I'm thinking, based on your experiences with kids and things that you deal with, you might be able to use that to benefit, to create a book that's almost like a textbook in dealing with social issues one-on-one, I should say, not one-on-one, both. Because somebody like you who's doing so much and learning every day and creating so much goodness for people could probably, could certainly pop that into a 2 by 4 inch placard with the covers and, you know, and binding, and it could serve a lot of people worldwide.
Yes,
And in 12, 13 languages. Who knows?
program writing is definitely something I want to do in the future.
Okay,
I help with video editing with Raising Multicultural Kids. They are they're creating a program designed
okay,
for teachers with socio-emotional learning
yep,
and things like that. So that's been really fun to be a part of. I helped create some of the guidelines around that.
okay,
More of a social work, a socio-emotional look at some of the concrete educational blocks of this program.
sweet.
It's been a little bit of a process, but hopefully we'll be able to roll out some of this programming at Bridgewater State soon.
That's awesome. Well, guess what, Joe, your young man just indicated we are under 5 minutes. So I hope that we covered, I mean, I hope I did a good job interviewing you and you felt that we covered as much about what you do as possible. And I expect that a lot of people will tune in and check it out and, you know, be moved by it. I know I am already.
Oh, awesome. That's good.
So what I'd like you to do, and I ask every guest, is to give shouts out to people that are going to see the show. You can start with Joe, he's right there, obviously, and then we can, you know, wrap it up. We can condense and move on. And then we'll end the show with my music as we began it. So go ahead.
Shout outs, of course, I have to highlight the organizations I mentioned, Raising Multicultural Kids and School on Wheels of Massachusetts. They are both great organizations that have supported me and also given me an opportunity to be a leader in my communities. And that has been awesome. And of course, I love ECAT and I love Joe, guy I'm marrying.
Well, I love all you guys. Absolutely. That's swell. All right. Well, you know, the other thing I'm going to ask is if you had a good time with me, maybe you know people with an interesting story to tell, students, whatever, people that you work, people at BSU. Joe has my number. He can call me text me, call me anytime. I get a lot of guests through word of mouth. I'd love to get more people on to talk about these issues. I know that they're important. I do it, like I said, I mostly interview people in entertainment, but this is very important stuff, and no topic is off limits on my show, unless I feel it's in poor taste, and I certainly do not feel that helping people that's the greatest thing you can do, and you're certainly wonderful at it. Are you gonna receive it when you get your master's? That's a doctorate, right? That's a certificate of.
So it's a Bachelor of Social Work, then I can get licensed. Then it's the master's, then it's a licensed clinical social worker after a while, and then more working directly with clients in the population, and then a licensed and independent clinical social work. So it feels kind of like a doctorate when you're at the end and you've done enough schooling to make it feel like it, but it's not exactly a doctorate. Okay,
I understand. Well, it's fine. I mean, you're making a huge difference in the world, and that's incredible. Well, okay, Shanteria, I hope you had a great. Did I say it right?
Shanteria, yes, you did.
I did it. Woo! Yay me! All right. Well, all right, we're going to wrap the show up. You ready to end it with the way we began it? You can snap along if you like. Okay. All right, folks. Thanks for watching Top of Time. An awesome, unexpected, great episode in the books. That's what we strive for every week. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.